What works in theory but not in practice? Every initial plan for a home improvement. My grandfather had a saying, plans have a way of working out on paper. In preparing for battle, I have always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Hard work can get you anywhere. Sometimes life just doesn't work out. A theoretical physicist. I have a theoretical degree in physics. My code. Telling the truth all the time. The invention of lying. Watching just one more episode and then going to sleep. Civil discussion on the internet. Have a nice day. Pure communism and pure capitalism, monsieur. It's almost like people will find ways to take advantage of any system and put their own short-term benefit ahead of both their own long-term benefit and others' benefit at all. My brain during an exam. Shower sex. Edit. Damn, my first thing to get over 1K upvotes. Thanks everyone. Sounds like you guys know the pain too. Almost there, almost there. Slip and concussion. This reminds me of one time. The girlfriend, now wife, and I were having a good, wet time. She turned around as I was about to shoot off the old pocket rocket but slipped and fell. I spent the following 10 seconds just saying, "Are you okay? I'm sorry." I can't stop it as the fireworks went off all over her. She was fine, by the way. Edit. She saw this and told me, "No, I didn't turn around. You thrusted me into the wall and I fell." Wow, that is fucking hilarious. I am glad she is okay. You didn't blind her, did you? For a second or two. Water is the opposite of lube, it turns out. Kamuo, come on. Hey, it can still work, guys. I know last time everyone starved to death, but we're gonna make it this time. That wasn't real communism. That was autocracy. You know, the autocracy that happens every time it's tried. So if we try it one more time, it'll all be good and won't end up like every other time. Lol. This. My biggest takeaway from Animal Farm is sure it's not that communism doesn't work. It just leaves this power vacuum that someone will take advantage of. I know, right? Community service never goes as planned. Traditional martial arts. As a practitioner of traditional martial arts, I agree. I practice too, and sometimes it's hard to not be delusional about it. Have to remind myself. I practice ITF Taekwondo, and we literally separate traditional techniques and sparring techniques. A traditional turning kick, for example, is what we do in patterns and is great at breaking boards. But for sparring we do something totally different that is actually better in a fight. We literally kick with a different part of the foot, and even kick in a different direction. 45 degrees to the side for traditional, straight to the front for sparring. Being honest 24/7 will lead you into a world of hurt, trust me. This is coming from a guy who tends to say exactly what is on my mind, and it is not fun. Late response. I'm tired of reading comments that say that I'm being a jackass. I'm a socially inept person who struggles with the concept of knowing when to shut up or thinking before talking. That should clarify some of this. You can say things that are your honest opinion, but that doesn't make them true, or necessarily better than someone else's opinion. And often there is no likely benefit from sharing your honest opinion. People who share their honest opinion, unasked, knowing, or not caring that it's not going to help anyone, are mostly dicks. People who can never tell if their opinion is going to help anyone or to be pitied for their lack of social skills. Any pure form of government, it has to be a mix to work well. The problem is that we haven't figured out how much of each yet. Like, I'm pretty sure there has to be a pinch of dictatorship in it to be good, but if you add too much, the whole thing is ruined. When they're right, a dictatorship is the best form of government because what needs to get done gets done. There are examples in history where they're looked at quite fondly, like Tito, or any number of monarchs and enlightened despots. Dictatorship is the best form of government. Everything else just exists to make it corrupt more slowly, as a dictatorship is only beneficial when the dictator is. Unfortunately, there is absolutely no way to ensure that the dictator is benevolent. Hence the existence of everything else. An obedience school for cats. Years ago I lied on Reddit claiming that I made a living out of renting cats out for rodent control. I had some Russian dude ask me tons of questions about my cat rental business. I effed my ass off that this idiot was believing me as I just made up facts on the spot to answer his questions. Years later I stumbled across a Russian website for a cat rental business and he is running the business exactly like the bullshit I made up, but from what I can tell his business looks successful. So I'm not real sure who the idiot is. This reads like a copy pasta. That's even implausible in theory. In theory there is no difference between theory and practice. In practice there is. Yogi Berra. Waking up early to run. I'm convinced that people who actually can do this are either robots or aliens. Capitalism, communism, socialism, anarchy, democracy, monarchy, and everything in between. Why? Because humans are shit. Democracy is the worst form of government. Except for all the others that have been tried. Churchill. I mean, not really. The key is to have a bit of all of those in some way in order for it to work well. Currently capitalism mixed with socialism is easily the best system, monsieur. Also humans are awesome. We need to stop with the garbage misanthropic mentality. Just being bold and aggressive. New Year's resolutions. Telling your girlfriend to calm down. It's like throwing water into an oil fire. Being married to me, apparently. Clear your head up, friend. Socialism. Socialism doesn't work because socialists don't work. Communism. Total equality. True. It doesn't exist. The sad thing is people will never accept that it's impossible. Agree. Biology has no equality. Despise popular opinion or first impression. Equality is not fair. We should strive for equity. It's interesting you say this. No matter how much people don't like it or do to fight against it, there has and will always be poor, middle, and upper class in society. It was like that before money even existed. It's like that in nature with many animals. Communism, socialism, just one step closer to communism, monsieur. Group project in school. Anything new I attempt. Socialism, communism, telling people to wear a face mask during a world pandemic, smiley face. Just tell them that only smart people are allowed to wear them. You will see everyone starting to. Communism. Pickup lines. Shor's algorithm, monsieur. I mean, it works. Prime number factorization has been done on small-scale quantum computers. It's not useful yet, but it does work both in theory and practice. Just need to get those quantum computers working. I came to upvote everyone saying communism. I will now be on my way. Always telling the truth. Communism. Communist, monsieur. Socialist, monsieur. Most isms. Trickle-down economics. Sounds great that wealthy owners get richer and give pay rises, but people be greedy. The rich get richer and people get paid the same. Communism, socialism. My sex life. Socialism. The legal system, monsieur. Socialism and communism. Communism. Communist, monsieur. Communist, monsieur. Communism. 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 Communist, monsieur. I'm just guessing, but 50% of the answers are probably communism. Abstinence-only education. Thank you. Here in the U.S., it has been shown that states that have actual sex ed and give out condoms have significantly lower teen pregnancies compared to states that don't. Free healthcare in college. Let's just ignore everywhere it works. I'm in one of those countries with universal healthcare, and frankly I don't even want to bring it up anymore. It's usually just encourages them to insult and criticize my country in ways they otherwise never would have cared about. Communism. Talking about racism as a way to fight racism, monsieur. You think people will air their thoughts and there will be mutual understanding. In reality, 1. The people who know they're not racist get defensive and feel attacked. 2. The people who don't know those people aren't racist think they're defensive because they are racist. 3. People discussing racism get some positive feedback. So instead of ever being satisfied that people might agree with them, they ratchet up their rhetoric and keep adding things and people and words to the list that can be considered racist, until they get into ridiculous territory, talking about video games or crosswalks being racist. Schrodinger's cat experiment. The whole reason that Schrödinger came up with his cat experiment was to prove how ridiculous the Copenhagen model of quantum mechanics is. His whole argument was that the cat cannot be both dead and alive at the same time. Instead, there are two universes, one in which the cat is dead, and the other in which the cat is alive. When we open the box, we discover which universe we are in. Observing the cat doesn't somehow cause the cat waveform to collapse. People act like Schrödinger believed that the cat could be simultaneously alive and dead. It's a reductio ad absurdum critique of practical quantum mechanics. It's basically a nerdy physics joke. In the analogy, the cat would be alive and dead at the same time because the human is considered the observer when they open the box. In practice, the radiation detector is the actual observer that continuously checks the radiation and collapses the wave function, continuously determining the state of the cat. The human doesn't need to open the box for the cat to be considered dead or alive. Communism, socialism. Communism edit. I've been played. Communism. Communism. A bit edgy, but communism. It's not edgy, y'all just look like NPCs repeating the same preloaded answer with no real thought. Communism. Communist monsieur. Communism. 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 Communist monsieur. Communism. Communism and socialism. Communist monsieur. Taxing people into equality and prosperity. Shower sex. Answering communism to this question. It's actually working splendidly, as you can see. My plans. Communism. Communism. 90% of what leftists propose. Your labor safety rights. Child labor rights. 5-day working week. Minimum wage. The 40-hour work weeks. And the Civil Rights Act don't work in real life? Well, my life is a lie. Working rights equals leftist ideas. Moderate people also worked hard for the monsieur. Right, they're just called progressives and activists, ironically. Socialism. Most governmental systems, but specifically anarchic communism, monsieur, those people are total whack jobs. And comms are retarded. The perforated area to open mac and cheese box. Communism. Communism. Communist monsieur. Communist monsieur, need I say more? Government. Communism was my first thought. Communism. Communist monsieur, very time a country decides it's a communism country, it's ending up really bad. Communism. 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 Communism and its offshoots. People aren't always virtuous. People in power will kill dissidents. People at the bottom won't work. Social distancing of drunk people in bars. Communist monsieur and capitalist monsieur. Communism. Communism. Socialist monsieur. The idea that everyone shares is a great idea, but in practice people tend to slack off when their hard work doesn't directly affect their reward. Also, there tends to be a corrupt leader that exploits the system and everyone is equal, turns into certain people are more equal than others. Communist monsieur, while everyone is equal in theory, the leaders tend to be more equal than the common folk. I advise reading Animal Farm by George Orwell. Animal Farm was a socialist's critique of Stalin's rise to power by Eric Blair, who fought alongside anarchists in the Spanish Civil War. If you want an interest peek into more nuanced leftist thought, check out his homage to Catalina. Communism doesn't work because of the nature of humans. Humans are greedy. Breakfast in bath. What should be a great start to your day? Combining self-care and the most important meal of the day. In practice it often gets complicated at the toaster part. Or if you're unlucky enough to drop a plate of toast and eggs into the tub. 2/10 would not recommend toast, egg bath again. Being yourself. Communism. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.